Creating funnels with Claude AI is so fast and so easy that it feels illegal. You don't need any external landing page building tools, developers, or designers. With 5 minutes in Claude AI, you can create funnels better than 99% of everyone else, even if you have zero experience coding or with AI. So here's how. So I wanted to build a sales funnel for my book that I'm selling a digital copy of. The book's just called 10 Million. I literally tried 3 CRMs, landing page building tools that allow you to manage emails and customers and all that kind of stuff, that a big part of what they do is help you build nice funnels and landing pages. And I don't really want to call these businesses out by name because I actually like some of the people that own and run some of these companies. Some of them I've known for years. But all of these tools for building landing pages were absolutely terrible. Were kind of a pain in the butt to use, very clunky, and worst of all, the pages, once you actually use them, look terrible. Like the designs had not been updated in 10 years. And so I've shown in another video how to clone landing pages with AI. And so I figured, why not just use AI to make this funnel? The difference in this case is before I was trying to model somebody else's page, which works great if that's what you want to do. In this case, I wanted to create a page 100% from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So the first thing I did is I went over into Claude, which is just Claude AI, and I basically gave it this prompt that I'll include below this video. I told it I want to create a sales page for my book 10 Million. I had created some basic version of this page before, so I basically just gave it this to give it the information. I could have easily uploaded a PDF or something like that. And I said I wanted to create a really nice looking page, and I also wanted to fit my brand. So I had, with a PDF, basically using, I believe, a Keynote file, I had created a brand guidelines, very simple with my typography and stuff. I'd already had that sitting around. I could have easily just told them that in this chat window. And then I said that I want to use a kit.com form, which is my email platform. And then I want to send those submissions to Samcart, which I eventually changed that to Shopify. And then I said that I want to embed this into a WordPress page. That was basically all of my instructions that I gave to Claude. So it started processing and reading all this sort of stuff, goes through all my design, and then basically gives me the page. And then I went over to inside of WordPress, and then I basically added one of these simple little HTML boxes, and I pasted the code that it gave me. I had to do a little bit of back and forth because, the button was black on black. You couldn't really read it. And so I had to do that. Then I basically re-updated this, and that was the entire process needed to create this page, which looked 100 times better and actually fit my designs as compared to all those other platforms. Now, I did this inside of WordPress. You could just as easily, like I've shown in my other videos, use these same steps to go out there and produce that same HTML code and use it in one of these other building softwares, in another CRM. You could use it inside of Shopify, like I've shown. This can work literally anywhere. I just happen to be showing how to do this inside of WordPress right now. So next, I wanted to create a second step of the funnel, which is a pricing page, because the way that I structured this page is they click down, they enter their email address, and then they click get the book. But then I have a bit of what I would call an order bump, which they can either get the digital copy of the book for $17, or they can get a workbook plus the book, which is the option I really want them to take, for $34. So I make a little bit more money up front. So I wanted to create a pricing page that looked like that. And so after they submit this, I needed a second page. So I went back over into Claude, and I told it, now I want to create a second page. I wanted to kind of look like a SAAS pricing page. And I gave it the pricing different option and the offer and the discounts. And I gave it some instructions like having a little most popular tag and then having their own CTA buttons or call to action buttons. And I did the same thing as I did before, is I went over into WordPress. I basically added a little HTML box, which is very easy to do. You literally just type HTML. I'm using Generate Press, but it's not hard to do. If you get stuck with any of this stuff, literally just ask Claude how to do this. It's that simple. And so I basically pasted that in there, and then it spit out this page, which also looked amazing. 1,000 times better than I could have done on any of those other landing page tools, and they would have taken way more time, way more effort. This is literally minutes to produce this. It's absolutely insane. So the only missing piece here was because I needed to connect this to my actual shopping cart. So all I did was I wanted to use Shopify. So there's basically just 2 buttons here. So there's something that if you just Google Shopify permalink builder, There's an article right here that'll show you how to do this. So you can connect this with any shopping cart you want. I was originally going to do a SamCart, which basically you can create little order forms that are for specific products. So I could have just given it the URL of one of those. But in this case, I wanted to include Shopify. And so I basically just had to grab this little link, add the variation, and then the number of units that I wanted in there, and plus any discount codes, which is all covered in this simple article. And then I was able to link these buttons to that. And here's how it ends up working. So if I click, for example, this default option, get the book and workbook, and then this basically adds the right number of units of each product to the cart and the appropriate discount code that I created. And that was it. That was the entire process to build this whole sales funnel. Now, the cool thing is this sales funnel is actually working really well. It's hitting my targets. I'm running paid Facebook advertising or meta advertising to this funnel. I didn't do anything else, didn't add any extra code, didn't do anything else. I literally just built this whole thing with Claude very quickly. And it's a great funnel that I think is 10 times better than I would have been able to produce with any of these other landing page tools. So AI dramatically speeds up almost every aspect of marketing, including creating ads, pages, and full funnels. If you want more strategies on how to use AI to grow your business, but while also not letting AI consume your life or ruin your brain, subscribe to my channel and watch the video below next.